Hello, welcome back to another video. It's been a while again. Today, I wanted to do something very unusual that I've thought about for a little bit, and that is to predict random outcomes of global and local affairs, in which I probably only have like one local affair that I can really do prediction of as of now. Other stuff is a bit um, unsafe to make a prediction just yet. Even so, whatever. Nonetheless, today I wanted to do a bit of a prediction on some things that would, some events that's happening in the world and locally as well. Four things in particular that I want to make a prediction about. And hopefully, one would be right, I suppose. So I'll make a prediction point, and I will give a reason why I make this prediction, um, and yeah, pretty much just give a reason why. And yes, I think I kind of hinted at what I'm doing here is likely, likely all the predictions that I make here, rather likely almost all the predictions I make here, uh, may not come true. But after either way, it is just a bit of a I just wanted to use this video to generally just through these predictions of what I'm of these predictions that I'm making. You kind of get a hint at some of the things I'm that I know of in recent times. Some of the things that I'm kept up to date about in global local affairs. So yeah, so I think it's pretty interesting. So here are four things that I predict would happen very likely in the coming year and this year as well, of course, including. Number one, Kamala Harris is likely to win the United States presidential election this year, but not, however, not likely to win in a landslide. That's what that's what I think about that. If you're not kept up to date with the U.S. presidential election, that's probably good. But then again, it's good to know. The more you know, probably the better. About the United States presidential election, if you're unaware, we have initially it was Joe Biden versus Donald Trump, two old men vying to for a second term at the White House. One vying for a consecutive second term, one vying for another second term non-consecutively. So, but that was initially. But because Joe Biden did very badly, um, at least from what we see, he really kind of just didn't at the very least didn't perform very well for the debate back in June. Therefore, he had to exit the race. He was pressured to exit the race, and yes, he eventually exited the race almost a month after the debate, because there were concerns of the fact there were concerns that old age, mental equity is not there anymore somehow. Concerns of whether he is still fit to run for president, and so the person to replace him at the top of the ticket of the Democratic ticket is obviously automatically and um, une- automatically and expectedly Kamala Harris. So, which is of course his vice president. So she has since taken over as the top of the ticket since July 21st, and is now the rival to Donald Trump. So, yes. So why I say she's gonna win is because again I think it's a bit obvious that she's the lesser, the better out of the two. But again, I am not trying to say that I'm endorsing. Okay, from what I'm seeing from all this buzz that's going on, okay, is that she is better on at least to, maybe not bring America to like a fucking um, massive chaos and whatnot. So I think she would provide at least a certain stability domestically. But on other fronts, again, both candidates' policies and whatnot have really been questionable and not very clear, not very detailed either, as to how they're gonna uh, execute these policies that they have proposed when they enter the White House. So a lot of things that they're not very vocal about with that as well. Um, Questionable in terms of the fact that it some, in fact, a specific few just goes against common sense. So, but anyway, I won't elaborate too much. I don't want to get this too political. But I will. Yes, I think this hinting that I do read political news as well. So, yes. Um, but I won't get too political. I won't drag on for too long for this. So, but yes, certainly that's the reason. She will win because she would bring a little bit more stability, a little bit more chance of stability, and peace within the United States, and I think that's pretty much what it is. So likely to get the first female president in the United States in history. But again, to elaborate again, I do not endorse either candidate. Okay, because of again they don't really, there is no standout candidate. But I back to the point also, to the fact that or to what I think is she wouldn't win by a landslide is because of these unclear policies, unclear plans. Um, at least from what I see. I mean, of course, I think for other people, it may look like it's clear, but again, I'm just an outsider. So again, I think I'll just leave it at that. So, yeah, that's just a prediction that I'm making. Okay, would it come true? I don't know. Another prediction that I'll make, which is more locally, closer to home here in Singapore, is the next general election. That's right, from one election to another. We're going to talk about another election that's happening. That's right, the general election in Singapore. A lot of people thought it's going to happen in literally this year in September. No, unfortunately not. The one thing that a lot of these analysts surprisingly don't seem to really get is the fact that the electoral boundaries have to be convened. The committee that tries to draw these electoral boundaries has to be convened. They have to form this committee first before anything begins. Before any election related drum roll, race begins. They have to form the committee first. And I think if I'm not wrong, I don't know. I think I may be wrong, but I think it is possibly law that it is necessary. I would say that they would have to form this committee, otherwise nothing can happen. Which is the case now, is that nothing's happening. So, but here's where the prediction comes in: is that the next general election is likely to be held very latest June 2025, right? Um, as much as the expiry, the deadline for holding this election is in November 2025, but I don't really feel like they're gonna do it in the second half. But at the very least, very, very least, they're gonna do it in the first half, which then comes to the point where they would have to convene the Electoral Boundaries Committee very soon, which is this year. Within this year, they have to convene the committee. And then the report will come out, probably, my guess is about March of 2025. They would take a few months, but possibly maybe just a month or a couple months to put out the report of the finalized electoral boundaries for this coming election. So that's my guess, that they would in fact hold in likely, obviously, it's definitely going to be next year. um, June. June is the latest month they would hold it. So, yeah. Why I would think is not in second half is because I have a feeling the government is uh, having this sense of urgency now, especially with with controversies that happened over the past year as well, especially in 2023. There's been this the Rideout Road controversy, the bungalows, I mean, that the ministers rented. It's a big hoo-ha back in that time. Resignations of two MPs, and so on and so forth. Smaller controversy, but last year there were these two. One more was obviously the big one is the corruption case that um, is the first time in like 30 years that has happened that a corruption case came up and is now investigating a former minister on this case. So apart from these three controversies and smaller controversies that happened, um, I think I mean from these controversies rather from these big and small controversies, I think they are what I'm seeing is that the internal party stability may be a bit unstable, and maybe they may want to call an election sooner than later. Of course, not too soon, because again, you can't call for one when I think so, right? I think it's the case here that you cannot call for one if the committee hasn't been formed yet, and even the report hasn't even been out yet. But again, to begin with, to make sure the committee is formed first, and then we can start the process. So that's what I'm saying. So I think hopefully that's good enough reason for to back up that prediction. Another thing that I will predict is the Minecraft movie. That's right, the Minecraft movie. What's Minecraft movie? That's right, a movie that's been in production for 10 years and, as you know, recently came out with a trailer, and it is not good. It is, at the very least, it doesn't look good. Maybe its storyline is good, but visually it don't look good. It does not. It is not cooking very well in the slang that people of my age is using. Cooked, yeah. Um, okay, cooking. Cooking in terms of like doing a very pretty good job. It is not cooking. But it is. Is it cooked? Maybe. I hope I got that right. I hope I got the understanding of the slangs right. That's right. I do not have a full understanding of these slangs. Believe it or not, as much as I am of the age of these people, I do not have a full understanding what these slangs are. But that's fine. Whatever. Here's the prediction that I'm gonna make with this Minecraft movie that didn't look very good. Um, is that it is likely the Minecraft movie is likely to be delayed. Although I understand people say it wouldn't be delayed, which could likely still be the case. But I'm putting my prediction here, okay, that it is going to be delayed. I hope it's delayed because at least make some sort of change. If we see Sonic the Hedgehog had, as you saw with Sonic the Hedgehog, um, due to a very massive backlash with the character design of Sonic himself. Um, Clearly, they did some changes, and it did very well. And so hopefully the Sonic effect would happen here. So yeah, the prediction why I say that the Minecraft movie is likely to be delayed is because of these backlash due to these character designs and visual designs of the movie as well. Overall, visuals, animation uh, of the movie. Matter of fact, this movie should not be like only like partially animated. It should be fully animated. It is a kind of movie that should be fully animated. I think there was a point in time that they did say they want to fully animate it, but I think they dropped the idea completely. So it's a bit of a shame that 10 years in production, 10 years of this collectively planning, working on it, production wise and whatnot, 10 years collectively, and came out with such a product is a bit, you know, it's a bit disappointing. But nonetheless, there's still a chance that it can kind of redeem itself from the fact that it could be delayed. I mean, it's not a fact yet, but could be delayed. It's my prediction. Okay, so But lastly, another one more prediction that I'll make here as well, randomly, is that the JoJo Part 7 anime. That's right, I watch anime. So the Part 7 JoJo's Bizarre Adventure anime is likely to become number one on my anime list. And yes, I know. Hold your horses. Hold your horses. Yes. Um, I know they haven't even announced the anime yet. Okay, but I'm going to put my fucking big prediction here is that it will become number one anime on MAL. MAL referring to my anime list, of course. Um, Reason being is because yes, I can simply say that the manga does very well. It is likely it is indeed one of the best JoJo parts of all time, with the amazing storytelling and whatnot. Have I read it yet? I have read a little bit into it, and I do think it's pretty impressive. So yes, I think I think with the general worldwide perception, also, you can also tell that a lot of people like the series. I'm talking about part 7 specifically of the series, um, where where they did horse racing. Steel Ball Run. What am I saying? Yes, Steel Ball Run is the name of the part 7. Okay, so again, like I said, they haven't announced an anime adaptation yet, but obviously they're definitely gonna have to make one. So it is highly anticipated. So the reasoning obviously is that it is very well storytelling, and I think they will do very well in also animating the entire show as well, with the horses, with everything. Yeah, I hope so. So I think it's a very highly anticipated show. There are other shows that could likely become number one, but I think it's probably like a bit debatable. But maybe this one, also debatable. But I'm gonna screw it. I'm putting my prediction now. Okay, it's gonna be number one. Okay, it's gonna be number one, which also inevitably means that it would overtake Freedom, because right now Freeman's first season is at number one. That means it has to do a pretty high bar for it to be able to absolutely convincingly overtake Freerun season one. So, but anyway, to 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 really end it off, I guess I will say that the predictions I make again, disclaimer rather, okay, to remind you that uh, uh, almost all these predictions are likely not to come true. But hopefully one of these predictions, or rather many of these, or all of these predictions come true. I would hope so, but who knows. So anyway, but hopefully I believe one of these predictions will come true. Whichever it is, we'll see. Okay, but yeah, either way, thank you very much for watching. That's pretty much it. I Let me know what else you want me to put my prediction on. I'm not a fortune teller, but I will willingly read something and then just predict out of what the heck I see, and just randomly do predictions. So thanks for watching, and I will see you in video again.